And you get other stories, by the way, like another very popular, let me tell you another very popular fabricated or mistransmitted hadith in Sahih Bukhari, which is this one about Abu Huraira radiallahu anh caught the devil and the devil taught him something. Ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. I mean, it completely contradicts the Quran and Sunnah, and it disrespects Islam. Because let's just take a look at this hadith. There's a hadith in Sahih Bukhari that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told Abu Huraira that he had the wealth of zakat, which was to be distributed. So this is the wealth of the Muslims. It's like Baytul Mal, it's part of that. So it's like the Muslim treasury. And he asked Abu Huraira to be stand guard over it, like have like night duty on it. So Abu Huraira says that whilst I was doing that, a man came and he stole from this, and he steals something. So Abu Huraira catches him and he makes up some story about how his family are suffering and how they're really poor and things like this, and they're really suffering. So Abu Huraira decides to let him have it. First of all, that is bang out of order, because it's not up to Abu Huraira radiallahu anh to kind of dispense of the wealth from national treasury of the Muslims just because he feels. So he couldn't, this is right, but let alone put that aside. So he lets him have it. So the next day he comes to the Prophet, and the Prophet says, "Ya Abu Huraira, did something happen last night?" And he says, "Yes, there was a man, now that you mention it, there was a man that came and he tried to steal, and I caught him, and he said his family was suffering. So I gave it to him." And the Prophet says to him, he's a liar. Let's check this out. He's a liar, kadhib, wasaya'ud. And watch, he's going to come back. And lo and behold, he comes back that night. So he comes again. He steals again, and Abu Huraira catches him again. And then he tells Abu Huraira the same story that, my family, I'm a poor person, my family. And Abu Huraira again lets him take it. Like, look at this. So not only is he letting him take money for the second time, or not money, but things, food or whatever it is, but it's not Abu Huraira's to give. But the Prophet has declared that that person is a liar. Yet Abu Huraira still disregarding, let's say, what the Prophet is saying. And the Prophet has forewarned that watch, he'll come back again. And he does come back again. And Abu Huraira falls for it again. He gets duped again. Like, look how stupid this narration is. And then he comes the next day. The Prophet asks Abu Huraira, "Hey, did something happen?" And he says, "Yeah, actually, he came again. You were right. And he told me again. And I believed him again. And I gave him again." And then the Prophet says, "He's a liar. Watch, he will come back again." This is in Sahih Bukhari, by the way. So, and lo and behold, people, he comes back again. The thief, our addictive thief, he's on it. The pathological thief, he's back again. And he comes to steal, and this time Abu Huraira catches him again. And he says, listen, let me go. And he says, "No, not going to let you go this time." And he says, "Okay, listen. Okay, check this." He says, okay, listen. I'll tell you what. If you let me go, I will teach you something about your religion that you don't know. I mean, first of all, just look at this offer. So let me get this right. This guy, who is a thief, who the Prophet has said is a liar, and the Prophet told you, yet you have once again, you've fallen for his thing again. The Prophet said it again, you've fallen for it again. Now this thief has come and he's saying to you, you're a companion of the Prophet. You've got access to the Prophet. But he's saying, I will teach you about your religion. So Abu Huraira says, okay, go on then, teach me. And he says, when you go to sleep, read Ayatul Kursi, and he teaches him something about Ayatul Kursi. And then Abu Huraira says, okay, and lets him go. So we've got a repetitive kleptomaniac, a thief who's just non-stop thieving from the Muslim treasury. Abu Huraira is allegedly in this hadith constantly falling for it. Like he's being duped constantly. And then on the final occasion, he's saying, you know, oh, you're going to teach me about my religion. Oh, that's awesome. What is it that you're going to teach me? And he teaches him something about Ayat al-Kursi, about before you go to sleep and read this. And then Abu Huraira comes to the Prophet, and the Prophet says, hey, did something happen again? And he says, yes. He says, actually, he came, and this time I caught him, and then he said he offered to teach me something about the religion. The Prophet said, oh, really? What did he say? And he said this about Ayat al-Kursi. And the Prophet said, you know what? That was the devil. However, he told the truth on this occasion. I mean, how blasphemous is this hadith? Seriously. Let me get this right. What did Imam Malik say? Imam Malik said that there is nothing about this deen except the Prophet has taught us. Nothing about this deen except the Prophet has taught it to us. As in, there is no path to Jannah like worship and du'as and things like this that are set except the Prophet taught us. But here we need the devil people, to come and teach us about Islam. Right? And the Prophet ain't teaching them. The Prophet's saying, oh yeah, by the way, yeah, that's correct. I haven't taught it to you, by the way, but the devil's mentioned it. Oh yeah, he got that right. What? How blasphemous, disrespectful is this hadith? It shows Abu Huraira to be incredibly clumsy. It shows Abu Huraira to disobey the Prophet. It shows the Prophet to have not taught the people this dua. Rather, we needed the devil to come and teach us. Wow, it teaches the fact that somebody's thieving from the national treasury and the Prophet is letting it happen. It teaches the fact that the companion doesn't seem to be so fussed, he's falling for it every night. It's a mockery, people. Or, as some Mulvis would say, mockery. Mockery. This is a mockery of the deen, you know. So this is the kind of sometimes nonsense that has crept into our tradition. So we have to, this is why, be wary that these things go against the Quran. They go against the Sunnah. They go against our teaching of fiqh. They go against things like Imam Malik has highlighted, that the Prophet taught us, that all access, all rituals of this deen were taught to us by the Prophet. Okay, we don't need the devil to come and teach us. Those of them that want the devil to be their teacher, they're more than welcome. Right, so let's move on.